So if I can pass over to Polly and Megan now. If you have any issues screen sharing, just let me know and I'll do that for you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Meg, are you happy to share the slides? Yeah, cool. Let's go for it. Thank you so much for having us here this evening. My camera's being quite strange this evening, so if I turn into a GIF or do something weird, it's just my camera having a funny 5 minutes. So yeah, thank you very much for having us this evening. My name is Polly. I am the facilitator of the Gloucestershire Youth Climate Group. And as just mentioned, the Gloucestershire Youth Climate Group, it's run by Creative Sustainability. We're a community organisation based in Stroud. And as part of our work, we do a variety of different youth projects. So many of you probably know the Access Bike project, which has been quite well established for a while. That's a part of our work. And also we've got the Third Space project too, which brings together young people. Yeah, and our overall objective as an organisation is to drive change for people in the communities. So the Gloucestershire Youth Climate Group, it's been something we've been working on since January 2022. We're doing it in partnership with the County Council. And the main aims of the group is to provide climate action opportunities for young people in the county, to amplify youth voice in the climate agenda as well, and advocate for youth priorities in climate policy to GCC. And we've also spoken to local authorities outside of GCC as well. We very recently, me and Meg went and spoke to Cheltenham Borough Council with the youth climate group there. And we've spoken to Cirencester Council as well. So we're slowly infiltrating council chambers. Yeah, and another thing is to build a network as well and to connect the dots too, because there's so many brilliant people across the county doing small pots of amazing work, and bringing that together is really important to what we do too. And above everything else, we're led by young people. So young people, they've been involved since the very start in January 2022. So they design the programme, they steer its direction, they decide what the activities are, and they help to plan some of the activities too. And the objectives are decided by young people. I'm just going to hand over to Megan now to introduce herself and to tell you a little bit more about the work.
Yeah, so I hope I've unmuted. I think I did. My name is Megan. I'm one of the core panel members from GYCG, the Gloucestershire Youth Climate Group. There's 22 of us that sit on the panel at the moment, and 4 of us are from Stroud. So yay, representation, woo, nailing it. We represent youth voice in climate work, as Polly said, at the County Council. So for example, that top left picture was at the GCC Decarbonising Transport Forum back in July. To a similar vein, the bottom right picture is when some of our panel members presented at the, oh good lord, I'm going to forget what this is called, the Environment Scrutiny meeting for GCC a couple of months ago. So the way that we work, we have panel members, so the 22 of us, we then split into project teams to do various things like those 2 specific events. We also run in-person team days, which are what the other 2 photos on there are showing. We go on residential camps and take part in training and workshops. And the main thing is it's all about doing those kind of things and having fun whilst we're doing it, because if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to go. And people don't want to go if it's not fun. So the part of our big thing. Yeah, so some of our other more specific projects that we've done recently, one of them I mentioned before. So the Interclimate Network survey as represented in the top left, is a big survey which we didn't. So schools across the county took part in this, and we now have the relevant information from it, which that represents and is readily available online. And it's provided us with a brilliant insight into the views and voices of a huge range of young people across the county relating to various climate action and sort of climate related issues and thoughts. Another thing we've done, as I said, the Decarbonising Transport Forum. We spoke to around 200 people, such as county councillors, transport providers, and other related organisations. We received very positive feedback from the presentation, and were able to speak at the panel at the end of the day, which is what that picture shows, with the other key speakers, which was a brilliant opportunity and really good for showing that young people's views are really important, and we do have views on them. Two other things we're currently working on is we're working with the Community Rail Partnership in Gloucestershire to create a resource pack for young people to make them, to hopefully allow them to be more confident on public transport, and to also mean that they're able to sort of be more sustainably minded, and to be able to maybe intelligently choose their options if they're able to. We also, two of our panel members spoke on Gloucestershire FM show about projects we've been doing and various different events we've been involved in. Me again, how exciting. So wider group, a lot of things we do, we know we have to involve and talk to as many young people as possible, because our core panel group is brilliant, but A, there's only 22 of us at the moment, and B, we know that not all young people want to sit on a panel. They want to do other things. They want to be more actively involved in, planting trees and doing these kind of training and workshops rather than sitting on a panel necessarily. So we work to make connections with other established climate youth groups and climate organisers, such as Planet Cheltenham, Gloucestershire Youth Climate Action, and Stroud District Youth Council, which I personally also sit on. We put on a programme of events, workshops and action days to help in that goal to connect young people. And we continue to connect with organisations across the county doing climate and youth related work. We also send out a newsletter of things we've been up to and things that are going on to bring together young people and signpost other opportunities from other groups. Again, fun is really sustainable, and it works, and it helps people to stay engaged and be involved. Feeling connected and supporting each other is important with this group as well. Polly, I believe it's you again.
Great. So I'm just going to talk about a piece of work that we did in the summer called What Could I Do? What Can I Do? Sorry. So What Can I Do was a project that we did with Strike a Light and also The Rise as well. You're going to hear from Roma from The Rise a bit later about some of the amazing work that they're doing. So it was a co-produced event, and we worked with lots of different young people who were doing community organising and producing events to put that on. So we worked with Jolt Future Producers, and that's a talent development programme in Gloucester for people who want to put on events. We worked with Gloucester Youth Community Action, we worked with our group of young people as well. So these young people met to plan and design and to book speakers and acts, and also help to deliver a set of workshops as well in the lead up to this big event. We know with the climate justice movement, it's really, really important to think about different social justice movements and how they impact this. And, there's no climate justice without social rights justice. So it was about bringing together activists and community organisers from different movements as well, not just climate ones. So we had representatives from disability rights movements, from the LGBT community, racial justice as well. So it was talking about how all of those things interlinked. we, in the run up to the event, and we know that not everyone can, you know, get to a big event that happens on one day. We did 2 online workshops, and we worked closely with the Rise to do that as well. So a facilitator from the Rise hosted a workshop called "What Does Youth Even Mean Anyway?" And that was talking to young people about how they see their place and their voice in society. And it was a really, really interesting conversation. We had an artist as well come along and do creative note taking as well. So you know, you didn't get your traditional notes at the end of a meeting. You kind of got a beautiful piece of artwork, which was something we really wanted to explore with. And yeah, our big event was at the end of July. It was a day-long event which had workshops and panel discussions. There was networking there. We did a consultation on GCC policy as well. For any facilitators in the room, like, we used a classic post-it note on a big long piece of paper, got down everyone's views. Yeah, tried to make it kind of as fun as possible and kind of physical as possible. We did a sticker swap and a zine swap as well, and a leaflet swap. We did art workshops, and we had food, and we had music as well, and generally just brought everyone together to celebrate what young people have been doing in community organising and activism, and also exploring possibilities of what they could do as well. Okay, so yeah, as part of the leading workshops, the young people told us they really wanted to make a zine. If people haven't heard of zines before, they're like a handmade DIY publication that people put together. They self-publish it, and it's used in quite a lot of different activist movements, and it's something that young people still seem to kind of engage with quite a lot. I learned about zines from the 90s riot girl movement. That's where my love of zines began. So but those young people, you know, they told me they wanted to do a zine, so I was really, really excited by them saying that. Anyway, yeah, so now all of that work is on display at the Gloucestershire Community Rail Partnership exhibition platforms. So they're on display at Stroud and Stonehouse in Gloucester as well. Yeah, and you know, that work is seen by all of the people that use those platforms, and it's a really good way to kind of get people thinking about those themes that the young people have presented creatively. Yeah, so you can go and see those. That will probably be up there till the end of March, I think. Yeah, next slide please, Meg. Thank you. So yeah, in the last 13 months, we've had a lot of conversations. A lot of those conversations have been about youth representation in leadership, and about climate justice as well, and solutions. And yeah, we've had loads of different conversations whilst working together with partnerships and with young people as well. And it's really, really important with all of those conversations that we've had that we respond to that. Young people have told us it's super important to yeah, it's super important to just like respond to that and not to just do a consultation and do nothing with it. So we're currently thinking about where we go next with this, and we knew it was important that we took the findings that we got and we pushed for change really quickly. And I'm just going to pass to Meg to chat to you about what we've managed to do with those comments.
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned earlier, but a couple of months ago, a group of our panel members went to the GCC Environment Scrutiny meeting, excuse me, sorry, which was all about looking at the climate action plan, and and we'd been working through it over the past year. So they went through a lot of post-it notes and quotes they collected, and we obviously worked with our core panel and the local community artist Luna Lotus to present this in a sort of creative way, as you can see at the top. So it wasn't just another list or report. They presented at the Environment Scrutiny Committee meeting, and this work, alongside the Interclimate Network survey, is now a part of the GCC's new edition of their climate action plan, which is really positive and a really exciting thing to have come out of what we've been doing as a youth climate group. So we're really proud of that. But as we always say, and as we know, there's a lot more to do. We're going to be continuing to work together to make progress and push for youth voices to be heard on this in the county. So yeah, I think that's probably most of what we're going to say. Anything else to add, Polly?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I can send out a link to the Interclimate Network survey as well. That was something we did in partnership with the Interclimate Network and also Planet Cheltenham and the Gloucestershire Wildlife Trust Youth Advisory Group. Yeah, we spoke to nearly 3,000 young people in the county, and I think it really clearly kind of demonstrates all of not only what young people are feeling about climate change currently, but also what the barriers are into getting involved. And I think that's a really important first key step to understanding how we engage with those young people.
Thank you both. You've done so much. That was such a walkthrough. If you could share those resources, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you everyone for listening.